Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Keerthana, currently pursuing my BA at Sri Venkateswara College of Engineering, Bangalore, from the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. Today I'll be discussing about the subject called mathematics, particularly about the topic called testing of hypothesis, levels of significance in mathematics. Before going to our main topic, now let us discuss about table of content. First, introduction to hypothesis testing. Second, understanding null and alternative hypothesis. Third, steps in hypothesis testing. Fourth, levels of significance. Fifth, types of errors in hypothesis testing. Sixth, test statistics overview. Seven, p-value and its interpretation. Eight, common test of significance. Last one is conclusion. Introduction to hypothesis testing. Hypothesis testing is a statistical method used to make inference about population parameters. It involves formulating a null hypothesis H0 and an alternative hypothesis H1. The goal is to determine whether there is enough evidence to reject H0 in the favor of H1. Steps in hypothesis testing. First, state the hypothesis. Second, identify the test statistics and its probability distribution. Third, specify the significance level. Fourth, state the decision rule. Collect the data and perform the calculations. Make the statistical decision and make the economic or investment decision. Understanding null and alternative hypothesis. The null hypothesis typically represents a statement of no effect or no difference. The alternative hypothesis reflects what the researcher aims to prove or establish. Properly defining these hypotheses is crucial for conducting effective hypothesis testing. Null versus alternative hypothesis. Null hypothesis is represented by H0, whereas alternative hypothesis is represented by HA. A statement about a population or a parameter. We test the likelihood of this statement being true in order to decide whether to accept or reject our alternative hypothesis, which is represented by equal to or less than or equal to or greater than equal to sign. HA, a statement that directly contradicts the null hypothesis. We determine whether or not to accept or reject the statement based on the likelihood or the null hypothesis being true. Steps in hypothesis testing. The first step is to formulate the null and alternative hypothesis clearly. Next, select the appropriate significance level alpha to determine the threshold for rejecting H0. Finally, calculate the test statistics and make a decision based on the comparison with critical values. Our next topic is levels of significance. The level of significance is denoted by alpha, that typically set at values like 0.05 or 0.01. It represents the probability of rejecting the null hypothesis when it is actually true, that is type 1 error. Choosing an appropriate level of significance is essential for balancing risk and error rates. Significance level alpha. If the p-value of a hypothesis test is above 20 or 25%, we would easily agree that there is not enough evidence to reject H0. If the p-value is less than 20%, we begin to believe that there is some evidence to reject H0 and support HA. If the p-value is at the range of 10% or 5% or less, we believe that there is a good evidence to reject H0 and support HA. So at what p-value we decide that is enough evidence. We resolve this by determining in advance that the level of evidence we require to reject H0. Types of errors in hypothesis testing. Type 1 error occurs when we incorrectly reject a true null hypothesis. Type 2 errors happens when we fail to reject a false null hypothesis. Understanding these errors helps in evaluating the reliability of the test result. Test statistics overview. A test statistics is a standardized value that is calculated from sample data during a hypothesis test. Common test statistics include z-score, t-score, and chi-value squares or chi-square values. The choice of test statistics depends on the sample size and the distribution of the data. P-value and its interpretation. P-value is the probability of obtaining a test statistics at least as extreme as one of the observed given that is H naught is true. A smaller p-value indicates stronger evidence against the null hypothesis. Researchers often compare the p-value to the significance level to make the decision. This is the pictorial representation of p-value. We can set the possible results in p-value, which is very unlikely observation or very unlikely observation in a positive way, that is p-value. Common tests of significance. Some widely used tests include t-test, chi, and chi-square test and ANOVA. Each test serves specific purpose based on the type of data and research questions. Understanding the assumptions and conditions for each test is essential for valid results. T-test comparison of means, F-test means comparison of standard deviation, grub test means detect the outliers. Practical applications of hypothesis testing. Hypothesis testing is widely used in fields such as healthcare, business, and social science. It helps in making data driven decisions and accessing the effectiveness. Real world applications include clinical trials, quality control, and market research. A statistical hypothesis test is a method of making statistical decisions from and about experimental data. Null hypothesis testing just answers the question of how well the findings fit the possibility that chance factors alone might be responsible. This is done by asking and answering a hypothetical question. Conclusion and best practices. Hypothesis testing is a powerful tool for statistical inference and decision making. Researchers should carefully define hypotheses and choose appropriate significance levels. Continuous learning and practice are vital for mastering the concepts of hypothesis testing. Thank you for watching my video. If you like my video, please do like, share and subscribe.